Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox On Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just, fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus Richmond. That's where it all starts. It all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lansing got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
Hello, White Sox fans, and welcome in to another edition of the Sox On Tap postgame show. It's Tony Marchese, alongside a very disgruntled NWI Steve. I'm #mad online right now. I'm pretty sure most of us are. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to go through all of our feelings here and kind of dissect what happened here tonight to our beloved Chicago White Sox. But before we break all of that down, we're going to ask NWI Steve how he is doing tonight so that you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Hey, yo, Anthony. I'm sad. I don't know what else to say.
Sad. So that's the first feeling on the board. I'm going to go with pretty fucking pissed off. That's what I'm going to go with. We'll break all this down in just a few seconds. But before we do, be sure you're checking out ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Follow us at Sox On Tap. Follow Steve at NWI_Steve, and then mute him because the hashtag mute Steve movement is still on.
We're going to talk about that for a second here. Before we go any further, we're going to have a little conversation about that.
Sure.
You done gone fuck this shit up by replying to me. You can sit there and talk all you want and send your little screenshots saying that, I knew it was you, so I was responding. The whole point of fucking muting someone is to not respond to them. You fucked this up, Anthony. This is on you.
How did I fuck this up?
You responded.
I knew that was you.
You responded.
So I'm not supposed to respond.
Correct.
To you?
If you mute somebody, the point of the mute button is for them to be screaming into the ether. That's it. That's the whole function of it.
Yeah, but it's pretty obvious when it's you responding to something that
isn't
isn't negative.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
No, I just don't want to.
This is on you.
That's fine. You could say I fucked it up, but I just don't want to see that negative bullshit on my timeline when I'm scrolling. Like oh my God, the 2023 season's over. Can you cry a little more, Steve? Cry a little more for me.
Well, Anthony,
about the 2023 season.
Anthony, knowing that payroll's going to get cut, and we got some roster deficiencies here. I mean, is there really a lot of reason for optimism?
Are you going to be at the ballpark next year?
Of course I will. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So we should just, the first step is admitting that you have a problem.
I've openly admitted this for a very, very long time. It's been well known. I can't walk away from this.
Yeah,
I just
so
keep
taking. You should just enjoy the ride.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In the all or part of 5 different decades that I've been following and supporting this team, I've enjoyed far too many rides without there being any positive conclusion to them. So I've got enough positive rides for my lifetime. I want some positive fucking results.
That's fair. You're a little bit older than I am. So you've been on a few more rides. I can appreciate that. And we'll continue to break this down as the season continues. We're 1-1 here since we muted NWI Steve. Not the best showing from team #mute Steve tonight.
Anthony fucked it up.
Yeah, and maybe I did, and I'll have to just keep you even more muted than you are. Maybe we'll need to move it to blocked. Maybe I'll need to block NWI Steve. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it was not a good night tonight for our White Sox, and Steve, I just need your initial thoughts on this ball game because there's so much to break down here.
Initial thoughts are this team gives you a sign of hope. They give you a reason for optimism. I was driving earlier today, and a thought entered my mind. Maybe, just maybe, this was the moment. Maybe they're going to get hot. It could happen. And then, bam! They go out there and they lay a fucking egg. The offense does what we've seen them do so many times this year. Go out there, piss poor fucking at bats. No plate approach whatsoever. You look 5th, 6th inning of this game. Matt Manning is throwing absolute cock shots, 92, 93 mile an hour fastballs, and they ain't doing shit with them. Fucking pathetic. And then we go to Lucas Giolito. We've had our fun with him, I would say, in the last couple of months. You cover 14 outs against a team that's like 40 games below 500. When you're fighting for your lives, you can't put any hitters away. You get 14 outs. The fuck is that? Fucking pathetic. I don't want to hear this shit. Stone, and I saw some other people talking on Twitter.com saying that, oh, it wasn't that bad because he only gave up the 1 run. He got 14 outs. I don't want to hear anything about how this is a good outing or it was fine. 14 outs. I will never, under any circumstances, recognize an outing where a starting pitcher records that few outs as a quality one. Don't give me that bullshit.
I am right there behind you, Steve, and I will just absolutely double down on what you just said about Lucas Giolito here. And I was actually texting with Johnny during this start, and I said, there's a bunch of stat guys who are going to come out and say that this Lucas Giolito start was good because he only gave up 1 run. And I can't disagree more. Now, I will preface it with your offense was putrid, and you did as well. You talked about how Matt Manning was laying them right up there, and they were unable to take advantage. But I'll go back to something I said a couple of weeks ago. The White Sox have put themselves in a position where you have to be absolutely fucking perfect. You have to be perfect. And the way that Detroit was able to get that run across the board on Lucas Giolito and the way that they were able to threaten in order to take him out of the game today was absolutely embarrassing, given the circumstance of where Detroit is and where the White Sox are and where they claim to be and where Lucas Giolito has claimed to be as a starting pitcher. That's embarrassing. You have to be perfect here. And that's the big leagues, baby. You have to be perfect there, and he was not. And as you said, the length on this start is the most concerning
or
thing.
Lack thereof.
Yes. We all know that length and size matter. Hashtag 69 mega, Lucas Giolito. Hashtag confirmed, said. Not on it.
Let me ask you this question, Anthony. You think Cleveland loses this ball game tonight?
Absolutely fucking not. And exactly. the kicker to this one is, Steven, is that you watch them come back and win against Minnesota. And I know we're still in initial thoughts here. It's all fine and pleasant to hear Miguel Cairo in the postgame show say we can't look at what Cleveland or Minnesota is doing. We've got to take care of our business. But maybe they should look at what Cleveland's doing because maybe it might inspire you just a little bit to play with an extra oomph.
I think we all know at the end of the day, guys will sit there and they will say that they're not scoreboard watching, that they don't see what Cleveland is doing. We all know that's a fucking lie. We all know that's a lie.
That's a fucking lie proven by the fact of Mike Trout's fantasy football league. Like, let's go back to that. These guys are tuned in. They know what's going on. They're on their cell phones immediately after the game. Don't give me that bullshit.
They know
exactly what's going on.
They know there's only 17 games left. They understand, and they realize that the clock is fucking ticking. And you pissed away another opportunity here today. Now, granted, you wouldn't have ended up gaining any ground, but you wouldn't have lost any. So Cleveland now has taken another 2 notches off of that magic number here. And we're now in a position where we are talking about Cleveland in a magic number. I'm fucking sick to my stomach right now thinking about that. But this is where we are.
Yeah, and let's just get into the ball game a little bit here, Steve, so we can recap this as quickly as possible, because this is honestly painful to talk about. And I had a tweet that was out there that this is the worst loss of the season, and I think that that's completely circumstantial. I've been met with much resistance thus far to say that the Naylor game, the Colorado game, the Kansas City game, there's plenty to choose from. There are plenty of games this White Sox season that you can choose from. Painful. Given circumstances tonight against Detroit and how Cleveland was playing that game against Minnesota, I find it really hard to say that anything is more painful than this, because it was so winnable. This ball game was so winnable by just a little extra offense and by some really crisp pitching from a guy that a lot of people clamored to give extra dollars to just to keep him happy. And so here we go. Lucas Giolito, you want to break this down? Let's go into his start here, Steven.
I mean, it's pretty simple. I don't have the box score. I don't have the final line in front of me because, frankly, it's not even really worth having in front of me because, as I mentioned in the lead in here, 14 outs is all he gave this team tonight. And the one thing that was very apparent, he just did not have an ability to put guys away. A lot of deep counts, hence he was taken out of the game due to an elevated pitch count. At near 100 pitches. I think it was at 97.
96.
Yeah, 96. Okay. So, that's a function of a lot of deep at bats, getting guys 0-2, 1-2, not putting them away, letting them back in, getting to 2-2, 3-2 counts, letting them foul off pitches because you don't have any overpowering stuff that you can put guys away with. What did he have? 2-3 strikeouts tonight against literally like one of the worst offenses in baseball.
He did get 5.
Okay, he got up to 5. Okay. Well, congratulations. You got 5 strikeouts against the Detroit Tigers in 4 2/3 innings. Awesome. Great job.
I mean, I'm looking for 8-9 against Detroit from Lucas Giolito. Look, let's level set this.
It shouldn't take 97 pitches to get 14 outs.
No, it shouldn't. And you should have way more than 5 strikeouts and way less than 3 walks on a swing happy team like the Detroit Tigers. It's embarrassing.
It is. It is. I don't know what other word to use about it, but that's just a piss poor performance. Again, you want to talk about the 1 run and all that. That's whatever. You got to go out there and you got to give me more than 14 outs. I will pound this point fucking home all night. I don't give a shit if people want to come at me, fine, do it. I don't give a shit. His job is to go out there and to get more outs than 14. That's fucking embarrassing. Did I mention he only got 14 outs?
I think you did just a couple of times.
Okay.
But as you said, Lucas Giolito got 14 outs, just in case you didn't hear that. Gives way to Lambert, Diekman, Joe Kelly, Reynaldo Lopez. You get some Liam Hendricks action in here. We'll get to that in just a bit. This ball game, Steven, did not see the White Sox offense do anything of note until the 8th inning against yet another subpar starter comparative to league average. They were able to handle this job in Cleveland, but they were unable to handle this job today. I don't understand it. Why is this such a roller coaster? Let's dive in.
I mean, it's just the 2022 White Sox. This team has really been unable to sustain any kind of long-term quality offensive performance outside of like that first 6 to 8 games of the season. And it really defies all logic in a lot of sense. You look at, they had a scoring opportunity, I want to say in the 4th or 5th inning with Jose Abreu, a guy who destroys the Detroit Tigers and doesn't get the job done. You have the 6th inning, or Eloy goes up there, gets a leadoff double. They don't move him from there. Just terrible plate approach all night. And as I mentioned, as the game dragged on, Manning was making mistakes. He was missing with that fastball in the middle part of the plate, and they just were flat out missing pitches to hit. And it was ungodly frustrating. But we've seen this movie a lot this year, and it doesn't make it any easier to tolerate or to deal with. But it's just kind of one of those things where by the 4th, 5th inning, you're like, well, looks like it's going to be one of those nights. And, Len and Steven Stone were talking about how it was very similar to the game last Friday night in Oakland. And then they had the big 9th inning comeback. But can you really count on that happening that frequently, especially considering they had 2 of those? You can even throw in that Luis Castillo start on the Wednesday in Seattle. So you had 2 of those last week. I mean, this team just hasn't shown an ability to do this with any kind of consistency all year. And you go 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position, you ain't going to win.
This team is so much better when they score runs early and do this thing that we call hashtag set the tone, Steve. I appreciate the fight, but we've called it a hashtag fake rally pretty much all year. Able to scratch across 2 in the 8th, like we said. I thought that was an impeccable, just awesome at bat from Abreu that got him, the 2 RBIs there and ties the ball game. But you need more than that in a baseball game to win. The Sox just seemingly couldn't figure it out, how to break through, how to do that. Man,
it kind of goes to some of the larger, wider ranging issues that we have seen all year with the fact that this team doesn't have a sound plate approach. They don't take walks. They don't put a lot of pressure on the defense. Everyone wants to talk about, not striking out as a way to put pressure on the defense. You put pressure on the defense first and foremost by having guys on base, because you can work counts. The easiest way to put pressure on a team is to work the opposing pitchers. Kind of like how, Detroit tonight did that and, caused the White Sox starters to only record 14 outs.
Well, and Steve, this is where I want to dive deeper into this. And I'm not trying to cause issues here, but tonight was a prime example. I think a lot of people, and potentially rightfully so, the results under Miguel Cairo have been better than they have under Tony La Russa this season in a very small sample size. But I felt like tonight was sort of that perfect example, at least to me, to say, this is still the same team that you have watched all damn season. If we want to really get into what plagues this White Sox team, I think you're hitting the nail right on the head, Steve. And it's the inability to be opportunistic at the plate, to do the smart thing, to get a runner over and get him in, to produce runs. Those are important. We've talked so many times about the long ball. Yeah, it's easy to hit a long ball, right? That just scores runs. It's not easy, but it's easy offense. That's a great recipe for success. But if you're not going to do that,
efficient offense, I think, is the word that you're looking for.
That's absolutely the word I'm looking for. But this is the same fucking team that you've watched all year. Yes, there are sparks of greatness. Yes, there's a reason why Elvis Andrews has been such a breath of fresh air into this ball club, because he does those little things. He does, and even today there was still an example where a guy's going to get got. You saw him argue that call, even though it was blatantly right over the right in the strike zone. But he's frustrated. You know why he's frustrated? Because he's been on the top of his game and he got beat. So I can see that frustration level right there. But when you've got 7 guys in your lineup, Steve, who just aren't feeling it at the plate and can't get the job done, you have a major problem. It's not the voice in the room. It's not the way that anything else is going outside of this just doesn't feel right. There's no magic here when you're sucking it up and you can't make things happen. Sometimes you have to make your own luck. A ground ball to the right side gets a runner over from second to third instead of striking out. Just those little things, they have added up for this ball club over the course of this season, and it's been so detrimental because you see it in the body language of the team. You feel it when you go and you open up your phone and you look at twitter.com and you see the people talking about it. There are so many things that have not gone their way that I feel like it's crept into even this ball club, where you have a game like today and you can't scratch this one out. It's incredibly frustrating to watch.
Frustrating is certainly one word to use. I would say annoying is probably the word that I would pick in this circumstance. Look, we can split hairs about this. I mean, they're 10-4 against Detroit this year, but they're in a spot here where they can't afford to lose these games.
Why is it like, okay, so you could say they're 10-4 against Detroit right now. Let's take this in a vacuum, right? 10-4 against Detroit. I would say that's pretty much where I would expect the White Sox to be this year. So baseball's going to happen. I hate this because it feels like baseball only happens when it's the White Sox, right? Like there's all these games where you could go back to the games I was just talking about. Colorado. Baseball happened here. Baseball happened here. Baseball.
You know what baseball I would love to see happen? I would love to see the baseball happen where, the Sox are down 3 runs in the 7th inning and they come from behind and win.
Yes.
Because that baseball's been happening, and that fucking shithole mistake by the lake all season. That's kind of what I would like to see.
You saw it tonight. You saw it tonight against the Minnesota Twins. You saw Cleveland just make baseball happen.
I literally
else.
I was in one of my Twitter DM groups, and as that inning was unfolding, when it got to 3-1, I said, they're about to tie the fucking game. Then they fucking do.
Well, you spoke it into existence for them.
It's not that I spoke it. I mean, whether I spoke it or not, it was going to fucking happen because that's just what this team does this year. And then to make things even worse, they score the winning run on a fucking pass ball where a guy scored from second fucking base. Meanwhile, the Sox can't get a fucking hit with a runner in scoring position to save their goddamn lives. They can't even make fucking contact.
Steve's trying to give me a heart attack on this show at 31. I need to figure out a way to lower the blood pressure here because I'm mad online. I'm pissed off. I don't understand this. Do we even want to break down what happened in the 10th?
I don't.
I think we have to.
I mean, I really don't want to.
I think we have to. I think we have to break down what happened in the 10th inning here. So Reynaldo Lopez, I will give it this. Reynaldo Lopez came out and pitched a great 9th inning to force the extra innings. And then we start some runner on second base bullshit rule. Sox unable to scratch a run across. Enter Liam Hendriks. Steve, I'll give you the floor because I don't even want to talk about it.
I mean, first and foremost, knowing that the Sox didn't score, Detroit's going to bunt in that situation. The bunt was executed well enough to where there wasn't a play on the runner going to third base. And if you're Liam Hendriks in that spot, you got to know that, and you got to make a quality throw. You have to get that out. You have to get the one out in that spot. Not doing that opens up a host of possibilities for things to go wrong. You get the strikeout on Riley Green. Then you give up a stolen base. And so now you've got second and third and one out. And Cairo makes the decision not to intentionally walk. Which Reyes was that? Was that Victor or I can't even remember which fucking Reyes it is at this point. It doesn't fucking matter. Whatever. They didn't walk whichever fucking Reyes was at the plate. And he gets a 1-2 count on him and fails to execute a pitch, gets too much of the plate, deep fly ball game. And here we are now. 5 back in the loss column with 17 to play.
Would you have walked him, Steve?
Yes.
I thought that was a pretty easy decision. Yeah. And I know this could potentially come off as somebody who's been more of a TLR supporter than most here. I thought that was one of the wildest decisions I've seen from a manager in a baseball game in a long time, outside of some of the rather egregious things that we've seen out of Tony La Russa this year. I thought this was absolutely wild.
It was not good.
And just for the mere sense of, what do you have to lose from creating a force out at every base with one out in extra innings? Like, even if there's a ground ball to second base there, that requires a throw home and Sebi Zavala to make a tag versus stepping on home plate or potentially turning a double play and getting out of the inning and giving your offense a chance to win the ball game. Now, granted, the next batter could have hit a fly ball into the outfield and the game would have been over. But you at least give yourself some sort of chance to get out of that inning unscathed by intentionally walking that batter. I felt like that was the most obvious time to walk somebody. And the way this whole entire thing went down still will give me, it's probably going to give me nightmares for years. You have a mound visit by the entire infield crew where you're not talking to Liam. Then Ethan Katz walks out to talk to Liam. This has communication breakdown written literally all fucking over it. And then you get beat. I almost I was just envisioning a ground ball going to second base and the winning run scoring. I'm happy that they hit a fly ball because I would probably be more incensed by the fact that this could have been easily avoided by doing this. Now, irregardless of the whole entire thing, why did Liam Hendriks even put a ball in the zone? I understand wanting to be the guy that just beats the opponent, but we've been here before. We've watched Lance Lynn literally pitch to guys like Vladimir Guerrero last season. We watched Lance Lynn do this in Milwaukee, where it could be the guy in the lineup or it could be situational. Why the fuck are you even giving him anything to hit over the plate and 3 fastballs over the plate? Why is that not a slider in the dirt? Why is that not any other pitch?
I think the simple answer there is he has been inconsistent with his ability to command the slider all season. That has been the biggest issue with Liam, because it has effectively made him a one-pitch pitcher. And
isn't he the highest paid reliever in baseball right now?
If he's not the highest, he's certainly in the team photo. I'm trying to think of if there's another. What is Chapman making in New York this year?
I'm not sure, but he's definitely the highest paid reliever on the White Sox, if
Well,
not
yeah.
like the second highest paid White Sox player on this roster.
Yeah. I mean, and that's.
Let's look at some resource allocation here, Steve, and I want to get this wrapped up. But Yasmani Grandal, Liam Hendricks, Dallas Keuchel, Joe Kelly,
Kendall Graveman.
I'll give Kendall Graveman a little bit of a break. Resource allocation, though, you want to? That's the argument I brought up. Kendall Graveman's definitely in there.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
No, it's not good. You need more. You absolutely need more from these guys.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
I remember just 2 years ago, Steve, or a year ago, Liam Hendricks should be pitching the 7th, 8th, 2 innings. Get that guy out there. Where's that same energy right now? Liam, I will get out there and pitch what. Man, this is what bites me, is that you throw him out there in that inning there, and he had so much confidence and faith in himself to go get the job done that I'm sure he's eating himself up on it, and that scares me more.
I don't know that I would say that it scares me that he's got confidence in himself. I mean, we compare and we contrast that, and we've talked a lot about Aaron Bummer, the guy who looks like he doesn't have any confidence and doesn't look like he throws anything with conviction. And then you've got Liam Hendricks on the opposite side of that. So I would rather have the Liam Hendricks approach and the, I hate to be the body language guy, but just, the mindset and the mentality that Hendricks has versus what Bummer has.
Oh, I would rather that too. The part that scares me about it, though, Steve, is that we're not going to make the smart decision as an organization. Put whatever fucking manager's name you want there. Put whatever pitching coach's name that you want there. The mantra seems to be, at least to me, we're not going to go take the ball out of a guy's hands, because we've seen this now for a couple of years. We're not going to take the ball out of a guy's hands because we don't want to, take his ego down a notch because he's confident he can get this guy out and then lose ball games. It's the same thing every time we go into Cleveland. Don't pitch to Jose Ramirez. You go to Seattle. Don't pitch to Jose Rodriguez. Don't pitch to this guy. And then there's certain players within this organization where the manager, pitching coach, whoever it is, will not take the ball out of their hands and make the smart decision to work around this guy. And then you see it today, and it's, whatever Reyes it is, we're not taking the ball out of this guy's hands because he's got to do this. That, to me, is an organizational problem.
Well, what have I been talking about for years with this organization? the fish stinks from the head. And they've been doing the same thing for 20 plus years now, organizationally. You know, Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn have been the two guys that have been making the baseball decisions, or the overwhelming majority of the baseball decisions. Unless, you know, the owner's buddy wants to come out of retirement and be manager again, then they don't get a say in it. And they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And it worked one time. And so they think they can just keep running it back. So it is what it is.
I'm just trying not to say the wrong things at this point. But I'm mad. I'm upset. You're upset. I think we're all upset. Oh, boy. Deep breath. Exhale. There's another baseball game tomorrow, and there's not that many left on the schedule. And
we gotta get to Friday night conspiracy theory on something, because I know I shared the tweet. Davis Martin was in Detroit. No announcement yet of a corresponding move yet. He's up here for a reason. So somebody is ouchie.
Yes.
And it's kind of making me wonder and making me think, is this the Michael Kopech shutdown?
Is it the Michael Kopech shutdown? Can I go? I don't want to do this. Is it Johnny Cueto?
I hope not.
I don't want to. You're talking conspiracy. I know he's lined up to go tomorrow. Some stuff in that last start just didn't seem right to me. I'm hoping it's not Johnny Cueto. It could be the Michael Kopech shutdown.
I mean,
but that would be a white flag kind of move, wouldn't it?
I mean, if you want to argue that, I mean, you certainly could, but you know, at the same time, I mean, the stuff hasn't been, you know, what we expect it to be. And he's kind of reached a point, you know, we've been talking all year. I've been saying, I thought
didn't I say to you at one point on this show this past summer, move him to the bullpen for the rest of the year?
You can't do that though, because if you ever want him to be a full-fledged starting pitcher, you can't keep flip-flopping him back and forth. That just doesn't work. At the end of the day, the problem here comes into the fact that he didn't pitch in 2020. And it's not, people are going to misconstrue this and say that I'm taking exception with his personal choice.
I don't think you are. But I think that you have factual ground to say that there was basically two missed development years.
Think about this. If he pitches in 2020 and he assumes a role similar to what he did last year, pitching out of the bullpen primarily, making some spot starts and kind of ramping up, then last year, 2021, he could be in the position here of in the rotation full time, gearing up. And now here for 2022, maybe he's not wearing down at this point.
I think here's kind of how I look at this, Steve. You wanted Michael Kopech and Dylan Cease to develop at the same rate and kind of reach this year. If you're Rick Hahn, when you made those moves, you probably assumed, or not assumed, at least hoped that Michael Kopech and Dylan Cease would reach their potential right around right now. And injuries happen. And then you have the 2022 season. When you lose that much development, you basically right now, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, have a 2020 version of Michael Kopech right now in terms of development path, where you've got Cease in 22. So now all of a sudden, the rebuild and the pitching portion of this, you don't have these guys on the same developmental path anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Kopech is far behind.
Yeah. No, he definitely is. And it sucks. It sucks because this organization doesn't show the wherewithal to go about insulating itself to protect itself from things like this. I mean, I said all winter when the lockout finally ended, or before the lockout started, that they needed to add another starter to insulate themselves.
They did. They had Johnny Cueto.
They had Johnny Cueto with 6 days left in spring training because Lance Lynn's knee went out. I mean,
and they didn't bring back Carlos Rodon. So,
which by the way, has his arm fallen off yet? Because I was told that was a guarantee to happen.
I thought it would by now. Honestly, I was in that camp, Steve. I was in that camp, but that's so White Sox that it hasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for these off-season shows. This is going to be fun. I don't really want to continue to go down misery road tonight, Steve.
That's fine with me.
As much fun as this is, I don't want to continue to go down.
It's not the word I would use.
Floor is yours.
I'm not having fun right now.
You're not having fun? Okay, I'm not having fun either. I'm not having fun either. There's another baseball game tomorrow. I'm just gonna try and steer this ship back into the right lane.
Into the iceberg.
Yeah. Man, this sucks.
The title's right there. It sucks.
This sucks. We don't want to be doing it. We don't want to be doing it. Steve, I thought we would be talking, when we started this season back in April, we talked about like we're going to line our pitching staff up for the playoffs, how the White Sox are going to fare against whatever opponent it is. I don't want to be in a fucking division chase right now, losing to the Detroit Tigers on a Friday night in September. Fuck. Absolutely not.
Literally.
Sox play again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sox play again tomorrow. Johnny Cueto's on the mound. Davis Martin's obviously with the club, as Steve said. We're waiting for a corresponding move to take place. Hold your breath. What's that going to be? Who the hell knows? We'll have it covered for you on ontapsportsnet.com. You got to pick the click for tomorrow.
If he's in the lineup, I'll say Sebi Zavala because what the hell? You got to try something.
Hey. Who knows? Sebi's had a 3 home run game before, right? Let's live on a prayer. If we're living on a prayer, Josh Harrison.
You think he's gonna get back-to-back starts?
No. That's why I'm giving myself some time, because when he's not in the lineup, I can just pick somebody else. So I'll go Josh Harrison. Hey, we got to live on a prayer. Maybe it's Romy tomorrow. If it's not Josh, maybe Romy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Romy.
Yeah, I would say it probably would be Romy, knowing that Eduardo Rodriguez will be on the mound, so you'll have a lefty up there. So
Gavin Sheets isn't going to be in the lineup.
Yeah. So we won't see Gavin in the lineup. We'll get Adam Engel out there, and we'll have to deal with the whole Andrew Vaughn in right field thing again, which, okay.
Would you rather him play left?
In that ballpark, yes.
Okay. Because I was right there with you.
Yeah,
I would rather him play left.
Yeah, right field in that park with that triangle in right center. A lot of things can go wrong there. A lot of things can really go wrong there.
That's the White Sox motto.
Yeah.
Hashtag a lot of things can go wrong there. Seems to be more realistic than hashtag change the game at this point. I don't have much else, Dave. I don't have much else.
I don't either. Just
Final thoughts.
Find a way to win a fucking baseball game tomorrow, and for God fucking sake, Minnesota, quit being so fucking useless. Win 2 baseball games tomorrow, you fucking pieces of shit. Fucking hate you, motherfuckers.
We're down bad. You're down bad. I'm down bad. It's so bad. I need to crack them again.
This sucks.
I just need to crack another.
It just sucks. Everything about this sucks.
Everything does suck about this, Steve. I'm just so incensed about the fact that we are here right now.
You know what really sucks the most is that I literally have a decision to make. I've got 4 days to make a decision. Do I want to put the money down for those playoff tickets?
I was talking with Jake Berger, potentially unconfirmed whether or not that's Jake Berger or not, but I may or may not share season tickets with Jake Berger. We've got about 4 days to decide whether or not we put more money down.
Knowing that if the games don't get played, you're going to apply it to your 2023 plan.
Yes.
Or if you decide not to renew the 2023 plan, they're going to hold your money hostage for as long as they fucking can, because that's the White Sox way.
This was an actual real discussion, Steve, that I had just the other night.
I know. And the fact that we have to even be contemplating this and talking about it makes me fucking sick.
I don't know what other podcasts can get this more real. I'm sure there's other White Sox shows that have people who are involved in these type of decisions. But as a person in these trying times, Steve, I want to see my baseball team go balls to the wall and get the job done. And you're just not doing it when Javier Baez hands you the ball game and then you fuck it up. I'm upset tonight. I'm upset. I know you're upset. I know there are a lot of people who are very upset, just like us. And that's why we do this. That's why we come on Sox on Tap. We talk about it. We dissect what's going on. And I think that that's a real thing that people need to take into account. You got 4 days if you're a White Sox season ticket holder to decide whether or not you're going to spend a large sum of money that the White Sox are going to hold on whether or not you're going to decide if you're going to go watch them play in the playoffs that may or may not happen.
In this economy?
Yeah. We're going to stay out of the politics and all that other stuff, but this economy, it's ridiculous, Steve. I don't know why we're here. I'm mad online. You're mad online. Everybody's mad online, and they should be. This has been putrid. This has been awful. You can't have losses like today happen if you're the Chicago White Sox.
You can't, and especially when you lose a game earlier in the week to fucking Colorado, and last Sunday you lose a game to Oakland.
And again, at the time of those losses, you split with Colorado. You took 3 out of 4 or whatever with Oakland. We said it on this show. I think I said it before too. You have to be perfect.
Yep.
You have to be perfect.
When the team that you're chasing is finding new, ridiculous ways to win baseball games every fucking night with their little slap dick approach, and they just find ways to win games that they should not be, you can't give games away against the Little Sisters of the Poor. And the Sox have given away 3 of them in the last 5 days.
It's the standard that you set for yourself. It's okay to say it's early if you can turn it on late. They turned it on, but that fire needs to get a little hotter. We'll see what happens the rest of the weekend. Steve, we will not be back tomorrow, but we will be here on Sunday. No show tomorrow. For all the listeners, we will be enjoying ice cold beverages, hopefully victory beers. There will be no show tomorrow. We'll be back on Sunday for a Sunday.
And for our listeners, because there is no show tomorrow, go out there, have a couple 2-3 dozen pops.
Yes.
If you need to, go out there, find yourself a slump buster, do whatever you got to do to fix this fucking mojo and turn it around.
You heard it from Steven. That's all we've got for the show. I think I was trying to close it down about 20 minutes ago. But sometimes the misery beers just need to continue to flow. Follow the show at Sox On Tap. Follow Steve at NWI_Steve. Myself at Tony On Tap. Visit our website, ontapsportsnet.com, for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Steven, you're born into it, and it's White Sox forever.
White Sox.